Welcome to YCBAM Budgets, where you can become a millionaire, one budget at a time. In this video, we'll look at Brooke's final January expenses and how they compare to the amount she budgeted. We'll also move her annual budget from a few sheets of paper to one sheet of paper. And we'll set up columns to be able to track her actual expenses for several months. Last time we looked at Brooke's budget, we went over her annual budget plan. Now we want to transfer the annual budget so it will all be on one sheet of paper. The rent was $1,200 and then we moved that over to the other sheet of paper. Food was $297, we moved that over. Other expenses such as other spending, we moved that over, that's going to be $200. The total amounts for odd months were $24.39, and then the even months the total is going to be $25.39, and we moved that over also. This second sheet shows the non-monthly, the irregular expenses that don't occur every single month. We've broken them out by month in the annual budget, and we want to transfer them over onto the one sheet of paper. So we'll transfer January. She had $0 that she's budgeting for extra stuff. In February, you can see she wanted to budget $100 for Valentine's Day, so we'll put that on the other sheet of paper. We continue to go month by month, and we move the numbers from one sheet of paper over to the other sheet of paper. At the bottom of the sheet of paper in her annual budget, she wanted to budget for dental, medical, and car repairs, but she doesn't know when those are going to occur, so she just wrote them as separate categories, and we'll list them on the other sheet of paper just at the bottom. We also want to use this sheet to record her actual expenses for the months. So we want to draw some lines. We'll have separate columns for each month. We'll be able to put January through May on this one sheet. January's not over yet, but it's the 28th, and Brooke is not going to spend any more money for the rest of the month unless there's an emergency that comes up. So she's going to go ahead and write in her actual amounts on this sheet. She had budgeted $1,200 for rent, and she paid that on the 1st. Her income for the month, she got 2 paychecks that she's counting in her January budget. One was the paycheck from December 29th, and one was the paycheck from January 15th. Each of those was $1,480. So together that equals $2,960. Brooke had made her January budget before she had made her annual budget, and in her January budget, she had budgeted $300 for food and $300 for other spending. So that is what she based her spending on for this month. At the beginning of the month, she took out $210. $150 of that was for food, and $60 of that was for other spending. On the 12th, she needed to buy some food, but she was out of cash because she had spent it all. So she used her debit card to buy $15.39 of food. When she got paid on the 15th, she took out cash from her account in the amount of $390. $150 of that was for food, and $240 of that was for her other spending. She got gas 5 times in January, and that totaled $178.29. Then we go ahead and fill in the chart for the rest of the January actual expenses. And since it's an odd month, the water sewer bill is not due, so we'll just draw a line for that. Adding up all the actual expenses for January results in a total of $2,582.88. We'll take our red colored pencil and color in the categories of actual spending that are over the budget amount. The total amount of actual January expenses of $2,582.88 is more than the budgeted amount of $2,439, so we're also going to color that total in red. We're going to color in the other spending category. Even though she had budgeted $300 in her January budget, now that we're working off of the annual budget, that $300 is over the annual budget of $200. So that's why we're going to color it in red. She paid her cable internet bill and her electric bill late in January, so she is going to mark those with stars to indicate that they were paid late. She had planned to pay them late when she had done her January budget because she just didn't have the money to pay it on time. After accounting for all of her January expenses, Brooke has no cash left over, and in her checking account she has $477.12. So that's the carryover at the end of January. Carryover is any amount you have left over at the end of the month to go over into the next month to pay your bills. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for next time when we'll take a look at Brooke's February budget.